Welcome back to Made in Asia, a podcast series by Lifestyle Asia that aims to connect the cultural dots and communities in Southeast Asia through the power of storytelling. This episode is brought to you by Roku Gin, and we are going to discuss what fulfillment and success mean in today's world, featuring trailblazers in the industry. And today, on set with us is none other than Sonia Chew.
Hi! Thanks
Sonia.
for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
I'm actually very excited to have you on the show.
Me too. Thanks for hitting us up and asking me to be on your show.
And also because I think did we meet the last time in New York?
We didn't really have much time to hang out though.
Yes.
But we always kind of run into each other at a lot of press-related events.
Correct.
Or overseas engagements.
Yeah, I know.
Then we don't really get to sit down and chat, so this is cool.
So to start things off, what are you most excited about today?
To finally get 8 hours of sleep tonight. I think that's my most exciting thing. I'm trying to be more structured about my sleep schedule because I'll get into it later on, but because I wake up very early every morning for work and you have to juggle a lot of other work stuff and I can't sit still, I love doing stuff. So when I allocate days that I need to hit 8 hours of sleep, I'm like, that's an exciting day for me.
Okay, so when people hear your name, Sonia Chew, right? They always think of a confident, accomplished personality, someone that they really admire, on screen. But how would you introduce yourself?
I do people think that I'm confident? I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
At least me.
The funny thing is that I always struggled with confidence, especially when I started in the industry. So I don't know whether it stemmed from me being a very quiet child, when I was much younger. I don't have any siblings. So I really just kept to myself a lot. And I think that kind of made me go into a shell sometimes because I'm like, well, I don't really want to raise my hand out in class, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Not sure if that's an Asian thing or a
It could be an Asian
character thing, yeah. But I was even more okay, don't even notice me kind of thing, So it still surprises me sometimes when people go oh, when I think of you, I think confidence. But I'm proud of that because I think it was also the work that had to be put in over the course of many years to be able to be fully comfortable with yourself and I think that's when you really unlock your potential in an industry like this, which isn't always the easiest.
It's not.
Yeah.
But let's walk down memory lane and go back to your childhood.
Okay.
How was it like growing up for you?
I have very loving parents, or maybe even very overprotective parents.
Okay.
And I was pretty sheltered. They're always don't do this, don't do that. Because context, my mom wasn't able to have kids in the beginning. So they actually tried. They tried and it didn't happen. And they finally got me 9 or so years later.
Oh, wow.
I think it was 8 or 9 years later, they managed to get me. So it was a bit of a miracle child moment.
Yeah.
Own self say.
Yeah.
So I think that resulted in them becoming very protective of me.
Yeah, of course.
It's
very
naturally.
Precious, right?
Yeah. So I did lead a lot of my childhood life being watched by them and being told be careful, don't do this. So I never really did much sports.
Yep.
I was more of an arts kind of person, so I picked up some instruments or some music, but mostly kept a lot to myself. So I think the turning point for me was probably in secondary school, which is our equivalent of being, say, 14, 15 years old. Then I started to express myself a bit better. Yeah.
But is there any fun fact, is there something that we don't know about you?
From my childhood?
From your childhood?
Or
growing up?
Yes, I was a very accident-prone child, despite the protectiveness of my parents.
Very klutzy, or you're just accident-prone?
You know what? I think we need to take a sip for this. I don't think you're ready for my injuries. Yeah, I really don't think you are.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We're going
anyway,
to do
cheers.
that.
Yeah. So when you ask fun fact, I don't think you were expecting injuries, but here we are.
I have a nickname.
You do? What?
Tofu.
Why? Because you're always...
I get injured very easily.
Oh, you get
also.
bruised?
I get injured from playing sport. I get injured from just walking.
Right? Yeah.
I popped my ACL through walking.
What? Walking
Yeah,
where to like
walking
buy
down
coffee?
the
Or,
ramp.
oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, but your story.
And Emma, I think you don't say that. Like you have to come up with a cooler story. Like, oh, I tore my ACL when I was playing rugby or whatever.
But in Paris though.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fine.
okay.
Yeah, that makes a difference. So for me, one of some of my most iconic injuries when I was a kid. Okay, so the first one was when I was in primary 2, I believe. So I was with this classmate of mine. And you know, back then, outside the supermarkets or the malls, right, we have this, I'm not sure if it's the same in Malaysia, I'm sure it is. They have these rides where you put like coins in, and then the ride starts. It's like a bit of like a carnival sort of thing, but they put it around the mall.
I'm in the same era.
Right? Yeah.
Probably a bit older, but
this is an age test, man. I don't think they have it anymore except for the carnival. So my friend and I, we bought like hot dogs on a stick. Okay. And our moms were there. They were like yapping away, you know, gossiping or whatever it is that they do. And they left us to our own devices. So they were like, okay, go play or do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So we saw, hey, like I have $1, let's go sit this ride. Sat on the ride, okay? I didn't realize that the ride was gonna jerk so forcefully. You know, are you ready for this?
Yes.
The satay stick that she was holding went into my eye. It went straight into my left, I'm not even joking, into this left eye.
Oh my god, so horrific.
Yeah, it was horrific. Like, but it wasn't stuck there, obviously. It went in and out really quick. To which I was really shocked, and I was like, what on earth just happened? And obviously it hurt, right? But I thought maybe it would just go away after a while. Maybe it's just a scratch or whatever, but it didn't go away. Like the pain stayed there the rest of the afternoon. My eye was just like tearing and watering of like, I don't know, eyeball juice or whatever it is that's coming out.
Oh my god, was it bloody?
No, it
Okay,
wasn't
oh my
bloody.
god, alright.
In fact, I don't actually think your eyeball bleeds unless you hit like some vessels at the side maybe, but it was right smack in the middle apparently. So then my mom, of course, rushed me to hospital and all while saying like, I see you shouldn't have done this, and like, okay. So then arrived to the hospital and they did like a whole scan and everything. And they were like, wow, the aim was so precise. It was right in the center of the cornea.
Oh my god.
So it's good and bad because, you know, you avoided a lot of other dangerous parts, but you could have also gone blind if it went even deeper, right? So that was just one of my many freak injuries, and I had to wear a pirate's eye patch for like weeks and put this disgusting gel in my eye for a while.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, but it's all good now. We're fine.
Okay. But actually, what parts of your childhood shaped you as who we see today?
I will say that I get a little bit of both my mom and dad. My mom is super warm and caring, and she's great with language. You know, her English is fantastic. Like, and I always looked up to that. She was always like the go-to person where people like not sure about certain English-related questions. Like, help with script writing or whatever. So it's like, I think I really adopted that from her. Needless to say, my Mandarin is crap because I spoke mainly English. And what I got from my dad, I felt like I saw so much resilience from him building his own company. And it was not easy at all, like to have a profitable company to support your family, right?
Yeah.
But he's a typical Capricorn, like hard worker. I'm also a Capricorn, so yeah. And he really had just, you know, focused all his efforts on building that business and making sure that it worked. So I was very proud of him. I still am very proud of him, although they both don't work anymore. But I think I did pick up a little bit of both of these qualities from them. Yeah.
And so looking back then after your childhood and you express yourself a little bit better in your teenage years, and then after that you had your first breakthrough in the industry after winning 987 FM
Star, it was
radio
a talent scouting
star
competition.
competition. But have you always wanted a career in radio when you actually joined?
No, I never thought of it as a career path. In fact, I wanted to go into writing. And in poly, in school, like I did everything that was related to writing and production. And side note, my parents used to run a production company, so I knew a little bit of the ins and outs of production. I used to be the person like coiling the cables and like setting up a tripod.
Wow. That was your childhood.
Yeah, that was my teenage years. Like I'll help them out, like they'll pay me a little bit, you know.
Okay.
Then I get to sit and watch the show for free, like kind of thing. It was quite cool. I wanted to pursue fully like writing, either script writing, documentary writing, news writing, anything, okay? So all my modules were like documentary production, written comm and all that. But the chance kind of came about in a very unexpected way. It was a public audition actually. And they basically just came up to me on the street and they were like, hey, there's this audition thing going on. Do you want to give it a try? And back then, I was seeing someone that knew one of the people that worked in 987. So he kind of inquired like, hey, what's this? Is it like a part-time job, full-time? They said it was a talent scouting competition. So just come, like everyone come. So okay, gave it a chance, walked in Orchard Road of all places and did an audition. And that's how I went into the contest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really how it started.
Fun.
Yeah. But I never imagined it to be a full-time job. I thought like part-time, like just do all the weekends kind of thing.
And how long ago was that?
That was 12 years ago when I was still in uni at that time.
So when you first started, what would you consider like your biggest challenge or hurdle in the industry?
Firstly, it was the confidence issues. I always second guess myself. I was always like worrying too much. Then I think I put on this, not the most real version of myself out there, but I think it's very normal. Because when you get into this industry, people sometimes say like, oh, just be yourself, so easy, just be yourself. Don't do anything else, just be yourself.
Yeah.
But don't you feel sometimes it's like, I don't know who I am?
It's an imposter syndrome thing.
It is. So I just like, I don't really, how do you be yourself? I don't know.
And you keep, saying sorry to yourself for not doing your best. You compare yourself to your peers and all of that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was one of my main struggles when I just started out. Another main struggle for me was that while you're on this search for yourself and your personality, you also have to interact with a lot of other people, and it starts to get to you like, oh, it's so competitive, it's stressful, like did I not get this job because they don't like me, or like did I suck at the previous one, that's why I didn't get called. You tie a lot of your self-worth to the job that you get or like the engagement that you get, and that was a trap that I fell in for a while back then. And
you feel like you probably like are not good enough just because you didn't get a job. You cite yourself that way.
Yeah. So I think it's a very normal and relatable feeling. I don't think it's restricted to just the media industry.
I don't think so.
But more so because our name is tied to our branding and it's tied to like your self-worth, it's tied to how popular you are in that moment,
And it's also, I feel, maybe a personality trait.
Yeah, maybe.
Like how you see things and view things like that.
Yeah. Sometimes we're very critical on ourselves.
Are you very critical on yourself?
I am. Oh my God, I'm so critical on myself. Like, if I fumble some words during a hosting thing, I like want to beat myself up after that. Because I'm like, I should not be making these mistakes right now, But then now, not anymore. Like, I kind of just take it easy. Like, hey, like if I stumble, just laugh about it. As long as it's not serious.
So having been in the industry for like over a decade, then what have been like the biggest takeaway for you? What have you learned the most?
About myself or about the industry?
About yourself, apart from being able to take like, setbacks better, what else have you learned?
I did have a few like major setbacks in my career along the way. But I think what I learned about myself the most is that through not just hosting my daily show, but also the other gigs that I do, I think that I have developed a way to make people feel comfortable and open up to me. I think that might be something that I'm onto. But I do feel that people open up to me easily, like in any settings, be it work, hosting, or even like a one-on-one conversation with a friend and things like that. So I do think that was something unexpected because I was quite introverted growing up.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, didn't really have that many friends.
Are you still? Introverted?
No, I'm extroverted.
Good on you.
It's weird. It's weird. I think it changes, like along the years.
Yeah.
Did you do your MBTI test?
Yes, I'm a very
You're a big I.
I'm a big I.
There's no E at all in it.
I think I used to be an E, but in the last few years,
right?
it's really been an I.
Yeah.
If I can hide, I hide.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it just you think like you changed a little?
I also feel being in the company of the right people matter.
Okay.
Especially if you're always out there in big events.
Yeah.
It drains me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm also an empath.
Okay.
So I get absorb energy.
Yeah.
So when the energy isn't very good,
it affects your
it
own.
affects me very quickly.
Yes.
And then I need to also figure out how to purge the energy.
Yes.
Which is another issue altogether.
I completely understand. So even though I'm very extroverted and I love partying and connecting with people and I get energy from that.
Yeah.
But you're right, if the energy is bad, I take a while to shake it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do to shake it off aside
Me?
drink a cocktail?
Not really though. I always try maybe find quiet moments.
Okay.
But if let's say I drive home, when I park my car, I'll be in my car for 10 minutes and not do anything.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like I'm in a warp zone
Yeah.
that I can just switch off
Yeah.
for 10 minutes just
Yeah.
to think about what happened today.
Yeah.
And something like that, simple. But if it's serious, I need my getaway. I'll go travel for a week.
Like a physical escape.
Yeah, I really need to
Okay.
escape somewhere.
I see.
Because I feel like sometimes for us, it's hard for us to find people that you can just express yourself to.
Yeah.
Or just share about your problems.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it sounds very petty. It's like, oh my
But
God.
the right crowd will not judge you for
Yes.
petty problems.
Yeah. So surround yourself with the right crowd, to me, very
yeah.
important.
The friends that you choose, or my friends, they signed up for this, so they better listen to every small little thing I want to bitch about, because I'll do the same for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because not everybody can get it or understand
Yes.
you, especially when you're renting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you want to give context, it gets a bit too much.
Yeah, then if I give too much context, they might fade out or zone out, right?
Yeah. By then, I think they're probably a bit tipsy already.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe 5 cocktails have gone by and.
Yeah. But honestly, Sonia, my impression of you is that I feel you have the charismatic voice that
you.
can really make people feel very comfortable.
Thank you.
And very inspired. I mean, this is more my
that.
observation.
Yeah.
From the few encounters I've had with you.
Okay.
For you personally, my next question would be, where do you think you actually found that voice of yours? This is like an aerial moment.
Yeah. You know what the weird thing? You're talking metaphorical or literal? Literal and metaphorical. Okay.
Both, yeah.
The funny thing is, I don't know if any one of us really takes note of how we sound. Do you take note of how you sound?
I cannot listen to myself.
You can't listen to yourself. That was me initially when I started doing this job, right?
Yeah.
Because I never really thought of the voice or your voice as such an important tool back then. When you're growing up, I just so mousy and timid. I never really thought about how do I sound. And there's honestly, if you're not in this industry or if you're not doing a podcast or recording, there are not a lot of times where you actually listen to yourself.
Your voice notes to your mom, maybe?
Oh, voice note, okay, maybe that, yeah. But my voice notes to my mom, that one better not play out loud. In fact, I only realized it when people started telling me, the first impressions, some of them go we can hear you before we see you, and then when we actually meet you, you're this tiny person, but your voice is so loud. Then I'm I never realized that. I never noticed that about myself. So I asked my parents, I asked my mom and dad, I was like, growing up, when I laugh or when I talk, do I actually have a loud voice? And my parents were like, no shit. They were like, yeah, you're loud. Even my current partner, he's sometimes when he's coming home, if he walks back from buying dinner or whatever, and the windows are open, apparently, he say he can hear me laughing.
Ooh.
Apparently. I don't know whether it's real or he's just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then, more and more people said oh, you have this quite a booming voice or a certain type of voice quality. And I thought, wow, that's actually something I never noticed. So I decided to like try and take care of my vocals a little bit more. You know, you don't really think about these things, especially when you're just working, and then I keep losing my voice because I'm hosting and I'm like
and
doing
you're
my
also
show.
in radio, so
Exactly, so
you use a lot of your vocal cords, right?
It's working like double time, right?
Correct.
More than the usual person.
Yeah.
So I decided, you know, I'm going to take some steps to take care of my voice a little bit more, because clearly that is also part of the reason why I've developed this persona or character, or like maybe that could be the reason why some people hire me. I don't know. For voice work, or maybe it's suitable for their events. So I don't want to discount that. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a little bit better care.
Have you ever thought your voice actually have the power for like a change, or you have a very
so
transformative
metaphorical
voice?
in that sense? Yes, I really hope so. So through the past few years, I wanted to focus a little bit more on helping people overcome their fear of public speaking.
Yes.
So I was very inspired after doing a TED Talk 2 years ago with a bunch of students. It's like a few hundred students in the hall signed up. And after I was done with the TED Talk, and this is not like gassing myself up or anything, okay, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But in that moment when we stepped out, there was a whole long line of students like waiting to talk to me and to ask, how did you do that speech? Like, I want to zoom in on this and that you said. And through that, I was like, wow, people actually care. Like, I was like, oh wow, they actually want to listen to my story of how I got here, or like how I overcame a really big, well, to me, certain, you know, challenges in my career that would have been considered such a big setback. I might have even just quit the industry. I was like, oh, they're actually interested to listen. So maybe there's a way that I can lend my voice somehow. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of starting your own like talk show? Or, like...
Of course. I also have a podcast. Although if you're talking talk show like Ellen DeGeneres, that kind,
to help people.
That's always been like my dream, honestly. But I don't know if our climate or industry here is the right place to do it, or that kind of for that kind of content. I think a lot of people consume much more YouTube and less produced type of content kind of does better. So
I mean, you also have a very strong relationship with fashion.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, do you consider yourself like somewhat like a style icon?
I don't know if I call myself an icon lah. I just dress how I feel like dressing in that moment.
How would you describe your personal style?
I would say, while I keep things very neutral and simple, I also like to experiment with like little accents of details. You know, like, okay, maybe even like just this buckle on my knee, for example. Like, that wasn't intentional for this question, but yeah, like I'd rather have little quirks that make you. But for most part, my wardrobe is like black, white, neutral, basics. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really, really, really.
Have you always been like that growing up, or?
No, I went through this phase when I just joined the industry of style experimentation, where it was like, went horribly wrong. I think I bleached my hair. I wore like all kinds of colors. You can pull up some pictures. I'll send you some pictures for this podcast, but it was not great. It was not, when in that moment I was like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so funky, I'm like experimenting with my style. But when I look back, I'm like, what on earth? Like, these pieces I would never wear again.
Was that your way of like, it's just experimenting, or you think it was just self-expression because you were just looking and finding yourself?
I think it was a bit of both. And you also feel the need to like, oh, should I dress in a way to stand out? Like at this, you know,
exactly,
I think people sometimes get a little bit caught up with the like, I want to stand out.
Yeah.
But after a while, you realize standing out doesn't necessarily mean like wearing something loud and garish to stand out. You can stand out with your personality and your aura and your energy. Yeah.
It's like bleaching your hair lah. You know, that's
right.
one way lah. You know, talk about.
I did bleach my hair. It was horrible. I'll never go back. I don't know. I just don't suit it. Yeah.
Another question I'm very curious about is that, is off work Sonia and at work Sonia the same person?
Sometimes there's a bit of crossover. My friends can attest to the fact that I'm a little bit crazy off work. In fact, they're quite surprised because they're like, you have so much energy doing all this work, and you know, our industry requires you to expend a lot of energy. Events, or maybe even big hosting where it's like thousands of people, you're giving your entire 100% energy to them. And then after that, I'm just like, okay, I'll join you guys for a party. And they're genuinely shocked and surprised, right? So I think that I do still show a different side of myself to my friends. I'm not afraid to show like that crazy, wilder side of myself to them. But for most part, I realized that what I present out there, I want it to kind of be closer to my actual personality. Over the years, you realize like, okay, maybe that needs to merge a bit more. I don't want to just put on like a proper image just because that is what pleases the crowd, right? But of course, with my form of self-expression or the way that I party or like go out or interact with people may draw some flack. Like some people might be like, this girl's nuts, or like, how can she be a role model? But there are two sides to it, because some people may be okay with it, but some people would be like, oh, but how can she be a role model to younger teens or kids? So that was a little bit of a balance over there.
Yeah, but that comes to my next question on like life in the public eye, public scrutiny, and then you have to manage those expectations, right? Because at one time you're showing people like, have fun guys, you know, life is short. At the same time also like you're being an idol, or you're being someone that people look up to, right? Like at the same time you're also trying to be yourself.
So many things to juggle, right?
Very mafan, right? But do you easily get like overwhelmed, and how do you actually like find ways to work around it?
Of course, you know, there are moments that I got overwhelmed, and I will just throw it out there. Like there were several moments that my decisions actually led to not very desirable results, and sometimes it ends up like being an article or like, you know, like just getting out there and not in the best press. So in a weird, twisted way, I'm kind of glad that it happened, because it taught me a lot about how to brand myself and position myself better, about how to have a balance between like, I still want to be this fun person because that's who I am, but I realized that certain things you need to cut back for certain audiences. So, for example, my day job as a radio presenter, our core audience can go younger. So they may be like in their teens, and I also want to be that good example, like I mentioned, right? Not in an unrealistic manner, but in a way that they still look at me and they're like, that's cool, like I want to be her. Like she can have fun, but she's also responsible, she's also proper, she's also all these things. So I think like I mentioned, in that twisted way, the bad press and the moments where like I had setbacks in the media and almost got cancelled and all that, it really taught me how to rein in certain parts of my personality. Not totally shut it down, but just make smarter decisions, you know? Like especially when we're like maturing and growing up in the industry.
I also believe there's this saying, once bitten, twice shy. But you need to also experience it to know how it feels to make mistakes.
Ideally, nobody wants to experience a setback, obviously. But the fact is that we will.
It's inevitable, right? It's something that you cannot also run away from.
Agree. So I think that was a big character arc for me.
Do you feel like it pushes you to sort of like level up or grow up, or like be more mature in your decision making, right?
Yes. It also taught me about picking the right people to surround yourself with. I think that was an important lesson.
So right now, do you feel like the pressure of having to perform or be at your best all the time, especially in front of a crowd?
You mean like professionally, like for
in a
work?
professional setting?
Yeah, like I always want to give my 100%, to be honest. Like that, I don't think there is, unless you're like really sick or like whatever. But I really, even though I may not be feeling well, I'm tired, I need to think like, hey, these people showed up. You know, there was a whole village of people that took to make this event happen, and I can't like let them down. You know, it's so hard to replace like let's say the presenter or the host. How do you replace that person last minute? It's possible, but it's tough, and nobody wants that. Because you've already gone through all the prep and everything. So I just keep that in mind. Like I just need to show up 100%, even if I'm not feeling my best. Even if like you're going through, I don't know, a breakup, like all kinds of stuff. You know, we go through all those normal human things, but we still have to show up and be cheerful and happy.
Well, how do you do that? Is there any like secret?
I'm a master compartmentalizer. I can compartmentalize in my head like really well. Yeah.
So it's like, put that emotion aside.
Yes, yeah. I will just put it aside for a while. Throughout the 10 years that I've been on air and working and everything, of course there have been moments where I've been through heartbreak or something bad happened or I got bad news about my family or like, my dad's health,
or
which
right
I've been
before
quite
a
open
show.
about. Yes, right before a show. And it has happened multiple times. And multiple times have I had a meltdown like in the dressing room or in the makeup room. And then you have to just go back out to continue your shoot, or your show. It does happen. So yeah, those weren't easy times, but I learned how to compartmentalize because of that. Because if you don't, then you're gonna like, your mind is gonna be all hazy when you're on stage. You need to be sharp. I think the one thing about what I do is that you need to be super alert and sharp for anything that could change.
Yeah.
Live shows, things change all the time.
Yeah.
People could be like shouting at you in your earmon saying like, do this, don't do that next, like change of plans, whatever.
Yeah.
So you have to be like 100%. If not, things can really mess up.
Yeah. I mean, especially like for me, I wear my heart on my sleeve. So my emotions show.
Ah, okay.
Is that a good thing?
Okay, for you, but I think sometimes you can't control that because that's who you are.
Yeah.
I think people, like my closer friends, may be able to tell if something is wrong. The general public, I doubt they'll be able to tell if I'm going through something. I'll give you an example. So this was actually just 2 years, this was about 2 years ago. There was a big shoot with a lot of international celebrities coming and, it was going to be a long night. So there was an evening event and a night event as well. So then in the midst of all of that, like my dad was going through some health-related complications and we felt like something was wrong. And he was gonna get the results on that day of that event that I had to be quite focused on, So then, unfortunately, the results did not come in good, like at all. And I just I didn't even know how to react because I've never had to deal with this before. Like I've never dealt with a loss of a close friend or a parent or like a pet. I've never even had to deal much with that, right? So I was like a little bit of a blank in that moment. Like how do you put that feeling aside and then continue to show up and be your cheerful, happy self? It was not easy at all. Yeah. So I had a full meltdown in when we were getting dressed and stuff. And I think nobody knew how to react. They were just like, what do we do?
What happened? We've never experienced this.
What do we do? Yeah. And we're all also like millennials, right?
Yeah.
So I think most of us, especially younger millennials, haven't experienced, not a lot of us have experienced like dreadful news like that. Yeah. So I think in that sense, having that support system is really important.
Yeah.
Being able to compartmentalize no matter how hard it was, I just tried to hold it off for like a few hours, you know? Yeah.
Wow. Are there any boundaries that you set for yourself when it comes to, that you learn to set for yourself, especially when it comes to situations like this?
I would say I've learned that I'm grateful that I've curated my team that I work with to be people that I feel very safe around. In fact, they're great at what they do. But as people say, there's always going to be someone better out there, or there's going to be a better makeup artist, or there's going to be a better presenter out there. There's going to be someone that's better at your craft than you, right? But what I treasure more than everything else is also loyalty and the friendship that we've built.
Yeah.
And the fact that even though when we all started out together, we were not the best at what we do. Not saying that we are right now. There's very talented people out there. But the fact that we contributed to each other's growth is like something that is priceless. And I always look at them and we always look at each other at the end of the year. We're like, hey, great year, guys. We celebrate and we just reflect on the year.
Yeah.
And we're like, we actually did a lot. Like we grew a lot. We upskilled ourselves collectively. So I think that's what I learned. That's what I'm grateful for.
Okay, so we move on. Have a drink.
Yeah, let's have a sip. Cheers.
It's like you are reading my script like that.
When I'm really not.
So speaking about growth, let's talk a bit about your entrepreneurial journey and your personal growth. You started venturing into businesses with, is it just Easy Folk?
Yeah.
Was entrepreneurship the next step for you? Have always been like the next step for you, like post radio or like?
I think it was on my mind because my dad himself, he started his own company, built it from scratch, and became a very reputable production company in Singapore. So I think to me that was quite inspiring. I was like, oh, that's so cool to be your own boss, But of course it comes with its struggles, and I also realized that having the opportunity to dabble into F&B was very interesting because I love to eat and hang out and have drinks with my friends, but do I want to run a joint? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But when this opportunity came about and they're like, hey, I think this is a perfect chance for you to come in creatively and tell us, what do you think? What do you think about this place? Should we do this? Should we do that? I was like, okay, sure, I don't mind coming in from a creative standpoint and to just tell you what I think and what I like. And they said, okay, cool, let's be partners, right? So in that moment, I was like, oh, is this another door to explore? This is another venture to explore. I had no idea whether I was going to be good at it because I've never run a business. I think the Gen Zs and Gen Alpha generation now, they're very entrepreneurial. They can start a business from nothing, which I admire so very much. I think we come from a generation where it's I need to build a capital first. I need to have a capital before I start this thing. Then you have the website. But it's so different now, right? So I had no idea whether I was going to be good at it.
Very textbook.
Very textbook, yeah.
Very
I think we
textbook,
also follow our parents or previous generation.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I may not really be a big risk taker just from my own character perspective, but ever since I started joining the media industry, I realized you have to take quite a little bit of risk here and there. And there are many things that I've done that I've never done before. I don't know, hosting National Day Parade. Who taught me how to do that the first time? Or hosting for a big brand with international guests. No one tells you how to do it, right? Yeah. So I took that as a similar, I treated it the same way. Okay, I'm just gonna try. May not be my calling eventually. And turns out, after we got hit pretty badly by COVID and all the bars shut along the street, we had no way of getting around that in those moments except deliveries and stuff. But it was very difficult. So I chose that moment to just exit, and I was like, okay, this was a great couple of years experience. We ran it for about 1-2 years beautifully. People were so happy to be there. The vibe was good, the energy was good. You just kind of turn it into a party every night. So I kind of missed that to some extent, but it did also teach me okay, I've dabbled with this. I'm not sure if that is my long-term plan. Maybe business in something else. Yeah.
But is there anything that entrepreneurship taught you that radio could never have?
Yeah. Managing people, I would say. Not that I was, not that I had to physically hey, you do this, you do that. But I think it's more of radio can come across as a very isolated job. Okay, it's a very interesting thing because as a host and presenter, it's such an isolated yet exposed job. You're in your own head a lot because you're focusing on, but you are projecting to thousands of people.
Correct.
And you are telling the story to thousands of people.
Yeah.
Even though you're alone all the time in the studio, or for me, I'm blessed to have a good partnership, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that when you're in a team doing this business or trying to run and have this shared interest to keep it afloat, it did suck a lot of energy out of me. The entertaining, trying to pitch for different clients to come book our place for events. I got a taste of that versus the opposite side where people book me for events. You know, I'm oh, can I suggest you to use this place for your event? So I was oh my gosh, this actually tests my pitching skills quite a bit sometimes, and it's the opposite side of what I was used to.
Right now, are there any plans for you to dabble back to businesses?
I am not in F&B or retail or anything, but in the recent year, 1 to 2 years at least, I've been approached by some companies and organizations to give them courses to help with public speaking and grooming. And I was oh, that's really interesting. So I was just hired as just come in for a day or something. And then it started developing to oh, can we book you for 6 courses or 6 sessions? Sorry, what am I talking about? Yeah, 6 sessions. And I was like, okay, sure, like let me give that a try. Then it started to build a little bit more. And a lot of them are like young working adults or even students who struggle with presenting or just speaking in front, not even a big crowd, speaking in front of your class or speaking in front of your meeting room.
So that really goes back to what your bread and butter is, your voice, building confidence, and like all that you have learned along the way.
Which is a funny, like life is funny sometimes, right? Like it brings you back to maybe something that you were called to do in the first place. And I'm happy to share that because I really, even when like newer DJs join us or newer presenters join us, I want to share with them like how do you get to a certain place or like how do you improve your craft, for example.
So it's more of like taking the mentor seat right now for you.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's unexpected and pretty cool.
Yeah.
But if it helps even one person overcome their insecurity and fear, like I'm happy to do it.
Do you feel like right now what you are doing, you need to have a purpose?
Of course. I think all of us need a purpose. Like what's your purpose, you feel? Like what keeps you going?
The community for me. Yeah, when I'm able to use the platform to open doors. For newcomers, for people in the community to be more seen, to have some sense of recognition, to be heard. I think that is, to me, one fulfillment that I needed to push myself further in the industry. Because you can't be doing the same pagination every other month.
Yeah, but you know, how long have you been doing this, by the way? I'm curious.
I'm being interviewed right now.
The tables are turned.
For more than a decade, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get this question pretty often, okay? Sometimes when people are not familiar with our industry or the ins and outs of it, right? Some people always ask me like, hey, you're not sian, do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Like, you're not tired. What's your next thing? Like, aren't you going to move on to something else? But actually, I just want to clarify that our industry is unique in many weird, beautiful ways.
Yep.
Every day is different.
Yes.
Like, and it is never the same thing. I'm not shitting on other industries, but I do know some friends who feel very like, oh, it's so mundane because they keep having to do the same routine over and over again. But for us, I think we're grateful, and I am grateful to have the work that I do, because even though the skill is the same, like yes, we have to improve ourselves as presenters or writers or whatever every day, but the content is different all the time. The events are different, the challenges are different, and so it never really feels like I'm stuck doing the same thing for 10 years. So I just wanted to put it out there.
No, I think it's true, because like for me, I need something new every time.
Yeah.
Like probably it's the rising Sagittarius that I mentioned.
Oh,
in
your
the
rising is
previous
Saggy?
episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So
my rising, can you guess what my rising is?
Oh my god.
Just take a random guess.
So
So I'm Capricorn, but
rising Pisces?
No.
Aries?
No. Gemini. Yeah, my rising Gemini.
Oh my god, okay. Very fun.
Yeah, so maybe that's why you get that dual,
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, dual personality sometimes.
Yeah, but rising Sagittarius, we really need like excitement and things to really like propel you every day. So monotony is not something that we enjoy.
Subscribe to,
We cannot,
But some people thrive in it and they're very good at that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I think the world needs both kinds of people.
That's why there are different people in the world.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
to our next question, when you hear the phrase "live your peak," what comes to mind for you personally?
You know, this word peak, right, is it can be a bit of a sensitive word in the media industry. And let me tell you why I feel that way, okay? Because as I was developing myself in the industry, I always hear people throwing this phrase about, oh yeah, she's at a peak now, or he's at a peak now. Better do now, if not, I'm not at a peak anymore.
Yeah.
Like, do you hear this?
Being relevant, basically.
Yeah. So I get that, you know, people have different ways of phrasing it, but I then looked at the word peak as something a little bit intimidating, because I was like, oh, so people only recognize you for your efforts or want to work with you when you're at your peak? Like, I worried about that, because I was like, oh, what if, am I peaking now? You know, like in those moments, I'm like, am I peaking now? If I peak now, does it mean I don't peak anymore? Or like, what's the...
Or do you peak too fast?
Yeah. So some people say that, oh, peak too soon lah, like sure calm down. Those kind of very candid things that people say. So I always looked at it as like, oh, is it a positive or a negative thing? Because what comes after the peak? A drop. I mean, obviously, right? But over the years, I realized that you peak at different phases of your life. There is never one moment that is your only moment that you peak and that's it. I don't think that's it. You can peak in the early stage of your career because of something that you did, something awesome you did, or some viral video. You can peak again when you, I don't know, get married. Like people always think like, oh, get married, have kids, nothing already lah, you know. But I've seen such successful creators and presenters and public figures who continue to maintain that throughout their entire life.
Yeah.
And that's like a constant peak. You're just peaking at different phases of your life. And I started to see things in that way and not worry so much of like, okay, I need to do this now because I'm only peaking now and that's it. Like, you know, so I shifted my view a little bit to see that at every phase of your life, there is going to be a good moment for you.
Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be the measure as well.
Yeah, but you know, in some industries like ours, it can feel that way sometimes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But for you personally, what has been like, or have been your biggest highlights in your career?
I think throughout my career, I've been blessed with a lot of great opportunities. I think, you know, working with brands aside, of course that is something great to have in your resume. But I think one thing that I realized over the years is that I am very honored that companies and clients really trust me for some of their biggest events, you know, and it doesn't come easy, right? I know some people will be like, oh, how come she's doing so many different events or she's doing this and that? But I'm like, I actually do put a lot of work into prepping for everything. And any presenter would do the same, right? But I think what I've earned the most is like my clients' trust. And I feel like that is one of the most valuable things for me.
Yeah.
And I think that is, you don't always talk about it, like the trust that you earn from people, but I think that to me is important.
I love your answer because it's something intangible.
Yeah.
It's not just about like,
It's not just about
this moment, that
achievements.
moment.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you want to talk achievements, we all can say like, oh yeah, I won this, or like, you know, I had this
I probably have a long
award.
list somewhere, but
No, yeah, I mean, there are some good moments there where you like, you know, best presenter podcast, or, you know, I have won some awards for that regionally and here, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, I wanted to focus more on the things that you may not see.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And with the peaks in life, there's always valleys, right? Yeah. I'm sure you have also had your lowest and low moments in life. Maybe you can share with us a little bit of those lowest moments of your life and how do you bounce back from them?
There is one incident that stands out to me for sure, because I think that was probably my lowest point. So this was years ago during the COVID time. Okay, like I said, I made some bad decisions, right? And you know, partying in a group and stuff like during COVID is an absolute no. And I recognized that it was just a horrible decision. You know, people were just like, "Hey, do you want to go for this thing?" I'm like, "Okay, what is it? Don't know, just show up." Like you don't know, you're just like, "Okay, whatever, show up." And unfortunately, that photo of a whole bunch of people at a house party, which was very illegal at the time, got leaked. And I didn't realize that it was leaked for a long time actually. And whoever it was that decided to post it up in the press or send it to the press waited like a few months to do it. And then it came out like a few months later. And at that point, I felt like I was peaking. Like I felt like I had one of my peak moments where like, oh, everything's going so well for me this year. Then I had this big campaign that was going to be all over like train stations, buses, like everywhere. It's going to be plastered literally across the whole country. I was shooting the advertorial for that campaign at that time. Okay, it was a very big 16-hour long production because we had so many things to shoot. In the middle of that shoot, the articles came out and they identify all of us as people who partied illegally during COVID and that it was now under police investigation. So I was like, when I got it, right, and I tell you, this was a weird outer body experience, okay?
Yeah.
I was sitting there in the production studio with like a lot of crew members and like just a lot of people around. They started getting like notifications, I think push notifications from whatever you subscribe to, you know, and it literally got blasted on every media platform.
Wow.
Initially, they did not realize that it was me, but I fessed up immediately. I immediately called my manager. I was like, it's me, by the way. Like, I'm in that picture. Because at that point, they were still identifying. Then oh my God, everyone went into panic mode. Like, they were like, what do we do? What do we do? Okay, scrambled, right? Then a follow-up article came out and identified me to be in it during this 16-hour shoot. So I was it was like moments of crisis, like management on the phone. My bosses are calling, like I had 3-4 different bosses and managers calling me and asking for clarification. I had like publications reaching out. What happened? Like, what's your comment? You know, I had friends working in publications who felt really bad and they were like, hey man, like, not that we want to do this, but it's coming out lah, just letting you know. And I was just having this, like hundreds of messages blasting through at once. I was having a full meltdown.
Yeah.
Full. Clearly, the production crew and the client knew what was going on. They knew. But to their credit, right, they didn't even say anything. They just carried on with the shoot like nothing happened.
Okay.
And so did I. I just carried on. Like after I touched out the makeup, everything, meltdown finished, like tried to make my face look less swollen, went back out and was like, did all the finishing shots, everything done. Then I had to deal with the problems after, you know. But I was so grateful to the client in that moment for not
Pulling the plug.
yeah, or being like, hey, let's take a pause. I think we need to rethink this. They didn't. I know they took a risk with me. I really know that they did. And in that time of my life, I had a lot of other engagements and deals with endorsements with other brands. And I was thinking the worst. I was like, oh, they're definitely going to drop or like cancel me. I got pulled off like all the upcoming live shows that were televised, you know, and it seemed like the end of the world lah, for real. I was like, I think I got to quit, guys. I think I'm cancelled. They took me off air, took me off everything. It was also through that really tough moment where I got death threats, hate messages, because, you know, people were very pent up during COVID, understandably so, because a lot of things changed. And they had all the
free time.
Yes, and a lot of things changed. People lost their jobs. Like, I can understand why they were upset when they see like, what, amidst this pandemic, you are enjoying yourself. Like, when I reflected on it, I'm like, that was really tone deaf of me. And I acknowledged that and I made a public apology. But it wasn't easy because my parents fully like depend on me in terms of like income and just supporting them in general. So I was just so worried. I was like, what do I do? Like if I lose all my jobs, I can't support them. So it seemed like the end of the world. But through that experience, a lot of my long-term clients actually stood by me and they said like, we know that it was a mistake, like, and we'll just wait it out. So I said, okay, like if you have that kind of faith in me, like I must have done something right, like with you guys and to have this great friendship and relationship with you, and I appreciate it, and I never like will take it for granted.
Yeah.
So that was a big learning point for me.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Close to getting totally cancelled.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It's so important, right? Like the impact that you have had on them prior to the whatever that had happened.
Yeah.
Really, you know, came and helped you.
Yeah, so
They
I
really
was very
stood by
grateful
you.
for that. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
super grateful for them. Because without them, or at least a few people showing that they have some confidence in you, you just need that little bit, you
Yeah.
know. If not, everyone just be like, okay, let's stay away. Yeah. So I'll be eternally grateful for them.
Yeah.
for
Is
that.
there anything that changed you after that? The way
A lot changed after that. In fact, this is no hate to the people that I used to hang out with for sure. But I think as you mature and grow up, right, in the industry especially, maybe your social circle will change a bit also.
Yeah.
And it's only natural.
Yeah.
Perhaps in those moments, I'm not blaming them because we're fully adults that should be able to make our own decisions. If you recognize it as a bad decision, just get yourself out.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, I was still in like okay, like I'll just go with it because, you know, it's fun or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a stupid mindset at that time. But I totally shifted my social circle after. And I really like surrounded myself with just the core people
Yeah.
that will be there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree that, you know, we may start together at the same place.
Yeah.
But along the way, we will move at different paces.
Yeah.
And after a while, people are in different stages of their lives.
Yeah.
So we may not share like the same route anymore.
Yeah. And I think
that's very
okay.
normal.
I think that's very normal. And to anyone that I have, stopped hanging out with and all that, I think it's more of just what is our path right now. It's not like because I hate you or like I resent you for this. I think we all put that behind us already, like for a long time.
Yeah. Move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Move on.
Yeah.
Okay, Sonia, for you personally, what drives you, keep you motivated creatively and personally?
Very
Need a seat
thirsty.
first.
I like the feeling of being fulfilled and accomplished like every day. To me, if a day goes by where I didn't achieve something, even something small, I kind of feel like...
You're very hard on yourself.
I kind of feel like...
You gotta chill.
Okay, wait, hold on. So like, when I say like accomplish something, it could even mean something as small as like, I showed up for my Pilates class, I didn't cancel.
Okay.
Like, okay, that's what I mean.
Small wins.
Yeah, small wins.
Okay, small wins,
Yeah, small wins. So I don't mean like, oh, I completed this work assignment in like 5 minutes. Okay. Not so serious.
Okay.
It could come in those small moments where I'm like, oh, I showed up for myself, or like I did this. And I didn't back out just because I was like sleepy or tired. I showed up. So I think that's what I mean by accomplishing something every day. What also further motivates me is maybe the life that I'm hoping to build for myself in the future. My parents worked super hard to like give us the life that we have because we don't come from any rich background at all. We're such a normal family. In fact, we went through a lot of financial struggles. And now in their golden years, like I don't want them to be like, oh, should I do a part-time job to, sometimes occasionally my mom and dad might say certain things like that, like, I should have taken a part-time job, if not like so hard on you. And it makes me very emotional when I hear that because they spent their whole life raising me and even though we didn't come from money, they gave everything to me to make sure that I pursue what I want. Allowing their only kid to pursue media may seem a little bit interesting because I know the Asian perception of pursuing media is not the best. So the fact that they even let me do that with no other backup option, I respect them for that, and they supported me through that. So I think as cheesy as it is, one of my biggest motivations is to really just make sure that my family has the best life that they can have till the end or till whenever that is. Yeah, including my dog.
And you mentioned earlier that your dad also taught you about resilience.
Yeah.
What does resilience mean to you?
I would say having the chance to experience a lot of backlash before a lot of these lower moments in life, I will always think like, man, but my dad went through so much worse shit like back then. Like, there's way more huge problems that he had back then. Like, how to even support the family or put food on the table, that kind of problems, right? So when I look back, I'm like, okay, maybe my problem's not so bad. It's only temporary, and if I wait it out and have the right strategy, I can come back from it. So I think that is something that I learned and adapted from him.
I feel also this kind of mentality will hit you as you grow older.
Yeah.
Like you really will feel like, let's not sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Because things like that can be so trivial,
Yeah, totally.
You think like, oh, this problem that I have is such a big thing, but actually if you think about it 10 years later, oh, that's nothing compared to what's
there are bigger problems in the world, basically. There are far bigger problems.
Yeah. But so what's your one piece of advice for those who are trying to reach their peak or trying to bounce back from a meltdown? Is there anything that you like to say?
I think essentially what I realized through my journey of that is that I had a lot of work to do on myself first. As much as I lean in a lot on my support system, which I think is very important to have a good, solid support system there to really just ground you. Because a lot of my close friends, they're not in the industry, they're out. But I really treat them as like my core friends. Like I don't bother with the, okay, this might offend people, but I don't want to be performative about like, oh, I hang out with all these like celebrities or whatever, like I genuinely do if we are real friends, for sure. But aside from that, I keep to my circle of friends outside.
Yeah, I agree.
Support system is really strong. Working on yourself is really strong. It's really important because you may fall into the trap of getting quite lost in all this fun stuff in the media, or like people always think like, oh, you're just going to all these cool things, meeting cool people, traveling to cool places.
Yeah.
You can get lost in that. Like, you know, and I've seen some people also, maybe even close friends or maybe even yourself sometimes, you're like, oh, wow, I made it. Or like, you know, that kind of mindset. But I think it's important to always remember where you started from and to really stay grounded. I think those things eventually will be the ones to help you through adversity. Yeah, not your business class ticket. Like, it's going to be your support system.
Yeah, that too. But if you could describe your current life right now in one word, what would it be and why?
Wow, my current life now in one word, that's tough, man. One word.
You need a drink first?
Yeah, why not? You know, life has many layers, like this gin, honestly.
What's the best way for you to enjoy your gin?
Oh, actually, I'm a simple one. Like, I just love gin soda, but also the Roku Fizz is good. I don't know if you tried it. Yeah, but it's very refreshing. So I don't like too heavy flavors.
Not too sweet also?
Yeah, no. Like, that's such an Asian thing to say. Not too sweet is the biggest compliment. Yeah, it's the biggest compliment.
Yeah. But back to the question, the one word.
I would say that my life now is eclectic. Like, eclectic in a way that I am in a stage where I feel I've built enough self-confidence and I know who I am, like, as a person, to really just go and try different things. And, you know, not just in terms of work, but also in life. Like, I started to pursue a little bit of like other hobbies, you know, which I never used to do. But now I'm more open-minded to it. Maybe I'm more relaxed in like other areas of my life. I'm like, okay, I don't mind like trying this. I'm more spontaneous, I think, than ever. You just go like, okay, I want to live life and experience life, you know? Because I think I used to be so stuck in the whole concept of life is just focusing on my career and making it out there. But there's so much more to it than just your work or just studying or just, you know, those are important and I will always prioritize that. But I also want to prioritize quality time with my, as you can tell, I'm very close to my family. I just want to hug my dog or like, you know, do small things like that, right?
Or even quality time with yourself.
And with myself, just doing nothing. Although I still struggle with that. I struggle with not doing anything,
And what change would you like to see in the community or the industry in the future for you?
Specific to like my, or just in general?
In general,
So I think the industry is moving at a very fast pace, at a really interesting pace as well, because there's so many new things popping up, right? But I would say like in the midst of that, the important thing, this digresses a little bit from your question, but I'll get back to that. The important thing is to really know like what you're good at and what you're strong at, right? Because that is the skill that's going to carry you through whatever social media platform is going to come out. Like in the next 10 years, you need to know like who you are. And I think that is the number one, like the strongest trait that will carry you through everything. And back to your question, what I hope to see more of is more authentic, non-trend based content. Like, I don't know whether it's just my algorithm or what I'm watching, but like...
What is on your FYP?
Don't ask. Don't ask. A lot of nonsense.
Dogs.
I don't know why. Probably a lot of animals, And sometimes your algorithm gets messed up with people sending you stuff also.
That's true.
But I really hope to see more really solid original content that inspires others. And here's hoping also that within our industry and our network, we can support each other a little bit more and be more supportive for, especially in Singapore, I think. It is changing in a good direction. I see more support with our local musicians, local sportsmen. But I think more can be done. I sometimes admire like our regional friends and the kind of support that you have for your communities. So I hope that we can adopt a bit of that in Singapore too.
And for you personally, how big has the community played a role in for your career?
Huge. I attribute a lot of what I have achieved to my community, as small as it is, because our industry here is much smaller. Our sample size is a lot smaller, but sometimes the people who have been inspired by your work, it doesn't mean that they're the ones that are going to be sharing your posts and liking and hyping you up all the time.
Yeah.
As long as it has impacted them in some way, I'm happy, And sometimes they reach out privately because they're not like very big on social media or they don't really use, but they send me a message or write me a letter and I'm like, wow, that speaks to me still. Yeah.
Is there anything that you like to say to your community out there?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm so deeply grateful for each and every one of you, be it whether we have interacted with each other online or like I've seen you out there in person. Sometimes they'll be like, hey, Sonia, I heard what you said that day. Like, it almost seems like we're friends, in a way, because that just shows how important it is to build like interpersonal relationships where strangers don't feel like strangers anymore, where you bridge the gap between like age, culture, or like, because it's really about the phase of life or what you're experiencing in that moment. And if I'm able to relate, inspire, or connect with you at any phase of your life, like I'm appreciative of that. So thank you for your time. Yeah,
Nice.
I think that's.
I think that's also what social media does to you.
Yeah.
It feels like you're closer to someone even though you don't really physically meet.
Yeah,
It's like, I knew this person.
Yeah. Sometimes like people will come up to you in the street like, hey, the outfit you wore that day very nice. What was it? Like, actually, which one? Like, what are you talking?
Yeah.
Then suddenly it seems like we've been chatting. They're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm a follower, but because I follow your content, I feel like I know you already. I was like, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair statement.
And then like the most awkward thing is someone coming up to me and say that, yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm like, who are you?
Yeah. And you're like, who am I? Back to the first question.
Yeah. So anyway, last question.
Yes.
Sonia, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you find yourself right now?
What? In terms of like happiness,
Everything,
life,
generally.
everything.
Take a moment.
I would say, actually, I would say between a 7 and 8. Yeah.
I would expect
Don't bait me
less.
into saying 6, 7, okay?
Because you're so critical
Sorry.
on yourself, right?
Yeah.
I would say, I thought you would say like 5 or something.
Oh, yeah. See, I surprised myself today by saying that. I think I'm between a 7 and an 8 at this point. But I mean, I don't know what the metric is or like what we're scoring, but I'm pretty happy with life, where I am. Not just professionally, but just in general. I think when everything falls into place, it's like an ecosystem, right? Like your work is going good. You have to make sure also your personal relationships, your family, you're giving back to community, all that like
It's very holistic.
Yeah, it contributes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
7 or 8.
That's it. So let's cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to a holistic
Cheers.
content life.
Yes.
Yes.
And to
Thank
this
you so
read.
much.
Thank you for making this drink.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.